everyone. I'm Parul Gupta. I'm an assistant professor in CSE AIML department in Lord's Institute of Engineering Technology, Hyderabad. So in previous session, we covered the introduction on machine learning. So now in this video, I'm going to cover the types of machine learning. So in this session, we are going to cover the supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, semi-supervised machine learning, and reinforcement learning, and finally the conclusion. So in this continuation, first of all, I am going to discuss the types of machine learning. So there are basically 4 types of machine learning: supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, semi-supervised machine learning, and reinforcement learning. So in semi-supervised learning, basically we are using the label data. Okay, so what is the meaning of label data? In label data, we are having input as well as output. So through this data, we are going to train our model. And in unsupervised learning, we do not have the label data, we have unlabeled data. Unlabeled data means we do not have the output attached with the input. We are only having the input, and our model is gaining the insights and design the patterns through this data. And in supervised learning, semi-supervised learning, it is basically the combination of supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So a few of labeled data we are having and a lot of unlabeled data we are having in the semi-supervised learning. Now the reinforcement learning. In reinforcement learning, machine learns through its mistakes. Like some agent will be there and agent will get reward if it is doing the correct path, if it is following the correct path. If it is not following the correct path, then the reward will get minus in the reinforcement learning. So here some examples are there for supervised, unsupervised, semi and reinforcement learning. So like house price prediction and medical imaging are the examples of supervised learning. Customer segmentation, market basket analysis are the example for unsupervised learning. Text classification, lane finding on GPS data are the examples of semi-supervised learning, and optimized marketing and driverless car are the examples of reinforcement learning. Supervised machine learning. In this supervised machine learning, we are going to discuss what is supervised learning, the role of labeled training data, real world examples, and the process of training and prediction. So here you can see in this diagram some input data is there, and we are going to do some interpretation and the model will get trained, and after training the model some processing will be done and our trained model is ready to predict the data. So basically what is the supervised learning? In supervised learning, so basically what is supervised learning? In supervised learning, what we do, we try to map our input and output because we are having a labeled data. So through that labeled data, we are trying to map the input and output, and we are trying to find out some mathematical relationship, and we are just going to implement that mathematical relationship into a model. Okay, after that you can see this is the role of our label training data set. Now what are the real world example of supervised learning? So we can use in image recognition, in speech recognition, in NLP we can use, in natural language processing we can use, and in Google, Amazon, Cortana, Alexa, Siri, they all are using the supervised machine learning algorithm to improve their voice assistant. Even healthcare providers are using to diagnose the diseases through the machine learning only, and that is of supervised machine learning. So the next slide is process of supervised machine learning. So in supervised machine learning, as we said earlier, we have the label data set, and that label data set should be processed in the sense it should be categorized. If it is a categorical data, it should be cleaned, missing values should not be there, and the outlier should not be there. Okay, so now this processed data set will get divided into 2 parts. One part will go for the training and the second part will go for the testing. So the training data will have a major part, means we'll train our model with the major part of data. Okay, like 80-20 ratio we'll use, or 70-30 ratio we can use. Okay, so we'll train our model with a huge amount of data, and once the model will get trained with this huge amount of data, then we'll validate our model whether our model is trained well or not. Okay, so this 20 or 30% of this test data we will validate our model. Okay, so whether my model is giving the correct result or not, and we can validate through this test data, because this test data is also the part of the label data. So we are already having the output also. So with this previous output and the output which are coming through this model, we can compare that whether my model is working successfully or not. Once the model worked successfully, or it is giving the values within the acceptable range, then we can predict any new data through this model. Okay, so this was the process of supervised machine learning. Now the next topic is types of supervised machine learning algorithm. So supervised learning basically is of two types. One is regression analysis and the second one is classification analysis. Basically, what is the regression analysis? When we are having output in a continuous nature, like 7.22, 3.77, like this, means the numerical values are there in our output, then we can do the regression part. And for the classification, when we have a categorical data like when the data is in the form of yes or no, or in some other categories like medium, low and high. On that case, we'll use this is the classification. So for both the regression and classification, some algorithms are different. Some algorithms are working for regression and some algorithms are working for the classification. And some of the algorithms working for both the supervised learning algorithm, like both the supervised machine learning, like for regression analysis also and for the classification also. Now the next topic is unsupervised learning. The second type of machine learning, that is unsupervised machine learning. So in unsupervised machine learning, we do not have the labeled data. We do not have the output with the input. So what our model will do, our model will learn, our algorithm, there are certain algorithms who try to find out some hidden patterns or some insights through the data itself. So on that basis, this unsupervised machine learning works. So unsupervised learning, in unsupervised learning, as I already said, we do not require the labeled data set. We just require the unlabeled data set. So what is the purpose to use this unsupervised learning? Basically in real scenarios, usually we do not have the lot of labeled data set. We are having a unlabeled data set in our scenarios, in real scenarios. So that is why we are using the unsupervised learning. And you can understand this unsupervised learning is like that. Like human is free to think and learn through himself only. So this is the example of unsupervised learning. Okay, so here in unsupervised learning, we are trying to find out the similarities between the data, and we are trying to connect the data from each another. Okay, so why to use unsupervised learning? Basically, it is helpful for finding the useful insights and patterns from the data, and unsupervised learning is much similar to human learns to think by their own experience, which makes it closer to the real AI. And unsupervised learning works on the unlabeled data and uncategorized data. And in real world, we do not have always input data with the corresponding output. To solve the such cases, we need the unsupervised learning. Now, what is the working of unsupervised learning? Here you can say that we have taken an example of cat and dog images, and that too are not categorized. Means we have unlabeled data, we are just having the images of dogs and cats, and our algorithm itself will find out whether it is a dog image or whether it is a cat image. Okay, so how it will recognize whether it is a dog or cat? So it will recognize on the basis of similarities of the features. Okay, so in that basis the unsupervised learning is working. Now there are two types of unsupervised learning. First is clustering and second one is association. So what is clustering? Now I am going to explain the clustering and association both. Now I am going to explain what is clustering and what is association. So first, clustering. So in clustering, suppose we are having this data points. these data points. So some data points are nearer and some data points are far. So according to their similarities, they are going to make a cluster. Okay, they will get divided into 2 or 3 clusters according to their similarity and dissimilarity. Means the same kind of data will be form a one cluster, and another kind of same data will form another cluster, and like that. So, and in association, what is happening? In association, basically, if I'll give you the example of market basket analysis, then you can understand better. What happens in market basket analysis, like if someone is going to purchase the computer, okay, and we can expect that that person is going to purchase the printer also. So we can make an association with the computer and the printer, and we can say that if someone is purchasing the computer, there is a 50% or 60% are chances that they are going to purchase the printers also. So this way association works. So we are going to find out what are the relationship between the computers and printers, and how in clustering what we are going to do, we are just dividing the making the clusters of the data according to their similarities and dissimilarities of the data. And how these clusters will get formed? Those data points whose equilibrium distance is less, they will form a one cluster, and whose equilibrium distance is far or bigger, they will form another cluster. So on that basis this clustering is work, and association is basically we are trying to find out the patterns or relationship between the two kind of data.
Two kinds of data. Last point.
Okay. And in association we are trying to find out what are the relationship between two kinds of data. So what are the advantages of unsupervised learning? Basically, unsupervised learning is used to do the more complex task in comparison to the supervised learning, and basically it is preferable as it is easy to get unlabeled data in comparison to the labeled data. Now the disadvantages of the unsupervised learning. The disadvantages of unsupervised learning. Basically, unsupervised learning is very difficult because we do not have the labeled output data set as we have in the supervised machine learning. And the second thing is that the second disadvantage is that as the output might not be very accurate because algorithm do not know the output in advance. So these two are the disadvantages of unsupervised learning. Now I am going to explain the semi-supervised learning. So as the name explains, the semi-supervised learning means some part of the machine is trained through the labeled data set and some part of the machines are trained through the unlabeled data set. So basically it is the intermediate background between the supervised learning and the unsupervised learning. Okay, so here are some disadvantages of supervised learning and the unsupervised learning. That is why we need to use the semi-supervised learning. So basically for the labeled data, for the supervised learning we need the labeled data, and for the labeled data some ML specialists should be there to label all the data, and this task is very difficult and very costly. That is why we are using the semi-supervised learning. And the unsupervised learning disadvantage is there that it has a very limited spectrum. So that is why we need to use the semi-supervised learning. So machines are trained with the very small amount of labeled data and a very huge amount of unlabeled data. Here you can say some real life examples of semi-supervised learning. We can use this semi-supervised learning in text classification, image classification, anomaly detection, speech analysis, internet content classification, protein sequence classification. So what is the image classification, as we can say? So we can use image classification in Google Photos. As we have all seen in the Google Photos, we need to tag one or two photos. After that, automatically the machine itself tags that person. This is that person, and it makes a separate folder for that. And in anomaly detection, basically we are trying to find out the pattern which are unusual than the normal data. Okay, so we train our machine for a few examples, and automatically whenever the anomaly will come, our machines are automatically detect that there is some anomaly or there is some fraud detection. Now, the last type of machine learning is reinforcement learning. As we already explained what is the reinforcement learning. In reinforcement learning, machine learns through its mistakes. Okay, so through its mistake में सर pause सर mistake ही नहीं मुँह से ठीक से निकल. So the last topic of the types of machine learning is reinforcement learning. So as we already explained, in reinforcement learning, machine tries to learn through its mistakes. Okay, so whenever it does mistakes, some rewards will get minused, and whenever it do not do any mistake, on that case it will get rewarded. Okay, so basically reinforcement learning is a science of decision learning, and it is all about the optimal behavior in an environment to obtain the maximum reward. And basically it is a hit and trial method, hit and error method. Like here we can give one example. So through this example, we can easily understand what is the reinforcement learning. Here you can say that one robot is there, and this robot has to reach through this diamond. So this diamond will be his reward. Okay. So whenever he will follow a correct path, it won't get fired. So in this case, he will get some positive points. And when it touches this fire, the reward points will get minus. Okay. So like here, my robot will be an agent, the diamond will be my goal, and this fire will be the hurdle. And whenever it follows the correct path without touching any hurdle, it will get rewarded positive, otherwise it will get rewarded negative. Now what are the elements of reinforcement learning? So here 4 elements are there: policy, reward function, value function, and the model of environment. So what happens in policy? How to behave my learning agent. This robot is my learning agent. How to behave. This policy will get written in this policy. Means how my learning agent will behave. This is the policy. Now what is the reward function? Basically, on each positive or negative, if it is doing correct, then it will get rewarded, and if it is doing in a negative wrong direction, then the reward will get minus. So the numerical score will get provided through this reward function to this learning agent. And what is the value function? Basically, value function specify what is the good in a long term. Okay, so it will estimate, basically suppose my learning agent is here in this position, so it will estimate the total score from this state to this final goal. Okay, so this thing will get explained in value function. And now the last point is the model of environment. Models are basically used for planning. So what are the advantages of reinforcement learning? So reinforcement learning can solve the very complex problem. Those cannot be solved by the conventional techniques. The second is errors corrected during the training process, means those errors those are occurred during the training process itself, they can be corrected. And the training data is obtained via the direct interaction of the agent with the environment. Okay, now it handles the environments that are non-deterministic. Non-deterministic in the sense, it can work on those environments also. For those, it doesn't have any information about those environments. Now it can solve the decision making kind of problem, control decision kind of problem, and the optimization kind of problem it can solve. And this reinforcement learning can be combined with another machine learning technique, that is a deep learning technique, and we can improve the performance of our system or model. Now what are the disadvantages of reinforcement learning? Basically, it is not preferable to solve the very easy problem. Okay, because in reinforcement learning we require a lot of data and lot of computation. So that is why we do not prefer, if a problem is very simple, then we do not use the reinforcement learning. The next disadvantage is it is dependent upon the quality of the reward function. If the reward function is poorly designed, so what result we are expecting might be possible that we will not achieve that result. Okay, now difficult to debug and interpret. So it is very difficult to debug and interpret the reinforcement models, because it has always happened once the our agent is not behaving in a certain way, so it is very difficult to diagnose and to fix that problem. So these all are the disadvantages of reinforcement learning. So in this video, we discussed about the types of machine learning, their process, advantages and disadvantages of types of machine learning. So in the coming video, I am going to discuss the few algorithms of supervised and unsupervised machine learning. If you like my video, please like and subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.